Hey, Frank, I know Avery's not on the injury report. Just wondering if you were planning on using him yet at this point with the thumb.
Yeah, he's available, and we'll let you guys see how much he'll be involved as the game plays out.
Frank, you just saw Boston a little bit ago. Just wondered matchup-wise how much you look at that game when you're constructing your lineup versus just where you want to go with your team and what you've been doing lately.
We do that every game. You definitely look at, especially now, right? And, until we get whole where we see Trevor Ariza as a part of the mix, we're looking for a lineup that we can get some traction around. And, when you're in that type of phase, then matchups do come into play more than usual. So I say we look at it each game, but definitely tonight.
And then, Frank, just a question about AD defensively. If you've got Dwight back there with him, do you feel like you could use him more on a guy like Tatum, or do you still prefer to keep him a little bit more off the ball so he can help and things like that?
Yeah, I like to save that for the most part for down the stretch if we need to. Obviously we have that to go to. But I don't typically like to put AD on a perimeter scorer like Tatum for 48 minutes. But it is one of the cards we can play.
Frank, there were a couple plays in the fourth quarter where LeBron was kind of beat just on straight line drives by Hartenstein got him, I think, once, Reggie Jackson. His defensive numbers on-court numbers are much worse than they were a year ago. I'm curious, is that a byproduct of his rhythm, too? I know when people talk rhythm, they mostly talk about offense, but...
What defensive numbers are you talking about?
His just on-court defensive rating, LeBron's.
Defensive rating is a five-player stat.
Do you feel like defensively he's been what you wanted this year?
Yeah, he's given his all. He's been in and out of lineups, and like our whole team had some strong nights, and some nights where it wasn't there. But he's been great for us.
Frank, even if you don't go with Dwight in the starting lineup, do you feel like the Sacramento game was a step forward in terms of defensive identity for your group? And will Dwight be involved with that push forward, whether it be a starter or not?
Something that we evaluate on a daily basis right now. Against certain teams, that is, a lineup that we like on the defensive side of the ball. But we struggle to score with that lineup. So, we're trying to fill holes on both sides and, put a lineup out there that's going to, win the net, more than win one side of the ball.
Just sort of off-court question. Did you notice today, just coming into the building, the Staples Center letters off the building, or had you seen any of the pictures of them being taken off? And does that, I think you said earlier this year, names come and go with buildings, but does that make you feel any kind of way about sort of this era?
I think my emotions would be aligned with, every other sports fan. I did see them, something on the internet about them, taking the letters down. It's sad. You know what I mean? It's still the same building. We still have plenty of memories to look forward to going forward. It's just called something different. It's just part of the sports. I don't really spend a lot of time thinking about it.
Frank, whenever these two teams get together, we end up talking about the historic nature of the rivalry. But you were obviously coached this team to the 17th title that got them on par with the Lakers. Does that part of the championship you guys won together resonate with you, kind of catching the Celtics after all those decades? And then even more broadly, what does coaching under those 17 banners mean to you?
Well, this is the best franchise in the NBA, so it means a lot to be here, and means a lot to me. I have a great deal of pride in being a part of the group that won banner 17. Won the 17th championship, and this matchup. Honestly, a regular season matchup. I don't think about that. It's about who's going to win more championships when you talk about big picture and, the Laker fan base and the Celtics fan base and who has more. But I don't spend a lot of time thinking about that during the regular season.
Yeah, Frank, even the way the team has started, do you feel you still have the support of management? Are you worried about your job security?
No, I'm not, and I do, yes.
Have you had discussions with them about the
I'm
future?
sorry?
Have you had discussions with them about the future? Have they stated,
No.
have they given you a vote of confidence?
Nope. We haven't discussed it. We're focused on the job. You know, we stay in the moment, focus on the task at hand, try to win the next game, try to get some momentum around our season.
Is it fair to put any blame on you?
It's not up to me. So I don't spend a lot of time thinking about it. Really just focused on the job.
Coach, I know since Trevor Ariza has not been in, but do we sometimes, maybe when you were coming into the season thinking about how you wanted to use him and how big of an asset he'd be, has it been undervalued in the sense of how much we haven't talked about him? Just curious because I know you mentioned he might be coming back sooner than later.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly how much you have talked about him, but you know, to have AD at the 5, you know, Braun playing along, you know, another 6'8", 6'9", defensive wing, you know, is the vision that we had with this team, you know, so not having him in the mix, you know, and being smaller if we want to put AD at the 5, you know, or not have enough spacing, you know, if we play with AD at the 4 has been one of our challenges early in this season. You know, there's no other way to look at it. So, you know, we're all eager for him to get back. We don't want to put a lot of pressure on him. You know, we still got to win games whether he's in and out. You know, there's going to be guys in and out. But that's been a big factor in the early part of our season. Okay.